Psalm 107 responds to the ending cry of Psalm 106. At the end of Psalm 106, the writer, on behalf of the people, cries out to the Lord to gather them from the nations, that they can thank him and glory in praise of his name. I'd like to show you how you can identify with such experiences as expressed in Psalm 107. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story, those he redeemed from the hand of the foe, those he gathered from the lands, from east and west, from north and south. Some wandered in desert wastelands, finding no way to a city where they could settle. I was hungry and thirsty, and my life ebbed away. Then I cried out to the Lord in my trouble, and he delivered me from my distress. He led me by a straight way to a city where I could settle. Let all of the redeemed give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind. For he satisfies the thirsty and fills the hungry with good things. Some sat in darkness, and I was one of those who sat in darkness, in utter darkness, prisoners suffering in iron chains, because they rebelled against God's commands and despised the plans of the Most High. So he subjected them to bitter labor. They stumbled, and there was no one to help. Then I cried to the Lord in my trouble, and he saved me from my distress. He brought me out of darkness, the utter darkness, and broke away my chains. I will give thanks with all the redeemed to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind, for he breaks down gates of bronze and cuts through bars of iron. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. I loathed all food and drew near the gates of death. Then I cried to the Lord in my trouble, and he saved me from my distress. He sent out his word and healed me, along with all those who cried out to him. He rescued us from the grave. Let us all give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind. Let us all sacrifice thank offerings and tell of his works with songs of joy. Some went out on the sea in ships. They were merchants on the mighty waters. They saw the works of the Lord, his wonderful deeds in the deep. For he spoke and stirred up a tempest and lifted high the waves. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths. In their peril, their courage melted away. And I was one of them, and my courage melted away. I reeled and staggered like a drunkard. I was at my wit's end. Then I cried out to the Lord in my trouble, and he brought me out of my distress. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. I was glad when it grew calm, and he guided me to my desired heaven. Let us all give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind. Let us all exalt him in the assembly of the peoples and praise him in the council of the elders. He turned rivers into a desert, flowing springs into a thirsty ground, and fruitful land into a salt waste. Because of the wickedness of those who lived there, he turned the desert into pools of water and the parched ground into flowing springs. There he brought the hungry to live, and they founded to a city where they could settle. I was one of those hungry, and I was brought to a city where I could settle. They sowed fields and planted vineyards that yielded a fruit harvest. He blessed them. He blessed us. He blessed me, and our numbers greatly increased, and he did not let our herds diminish. However, our numbers decreased, and we were humbled by oppression, calamity, and sorrow. He who pours contempt on nobles made all of us wander in a trackless waste. But he lifted the needy. I was one of those needy out of our affliction and increased our families like flocks. The upright see and rejoice, but let all the wicked shut their mouths. Let the one who is wise heed these things. And I admit that I am one who needs to become wise, who needs to heed these things and ponder the loving deeds of the Lord.